Hi, welcome back, and today we are ranking all of classic Doctor Who season 19 from 1982. So we start with Castrovalva. Castrovalva was the final part of the New Beginnings trilogy, which featured Peter Davison now taking over the role of the Doctor. And I do love the Fifth Doctor. His era and his episodes aren't necessarily my favourite, but I do love the Fifth Doctor. I just think the way he reacts with people and the way he is just really doctory, and I can see it and feel it. I do love the Fifth Doctor. As for the serial, I gave this one a 4 overall, and I'm pretty sure all of the episodes got a 4. It was a good serial, not the best, but good. It was weird. The concept of Castrovalva itself, was weird. It was interesting. I'll say that. I don't really have many thoughts on the actual episode, to be honest. It's more just Peter Davison's impressions of the different Doctors when he was going a bit cray-cray at the beginning. I thought was really good, and I liked the fact that Tegan and Nyssa were trying their hardest to help him and just sort of trying, you know. Adric was kidnapped by the Master. Okay. The Master was in disguise again. Fair. But other than that, yeah, it was an alright serial. All round it was fun. So I'm going to put this one into upgrade in progress, I think. I don't love it, but I liked it. It was enjoyable. And the MVP for the serial is Shardavan. Next up is 4 to Doomsday. So this one got another 4, and I fucking hate Adric. He's a chauvinistic little creep and I hate him. And he has zero empathy with Tegan's situation. That girl has gone through trauma for the past 2 serials, has no idea what's going on, and he's just going with it because she's amazing. And yet he's just so rude to her, and he doesn't even try to understand her situation or to help her. He just pokes fun at her and moans that she's not happier and stuff. And it's just like, fuck off, Adric. I mean, even the Doctor knows Adric can't be trusted because he gives the TARDIS key to Tegan, who is the newest one in the TARDIS. He gives the key to her and uses Adric as bait to make her accept it. Because he's like, okay, if you don't want it, I'll give it to Adric. And she's like, no, no one trusts Adric. Little shit. Although I do have to admit, the family dynamic of the TARDIS team is complete in this serial, and I do really like it. The Fifth Doctor obviously being the dad, and Tegan being the auntie, and then you've got Nyssa and Adric as the intellectual children. It's a very nice little family unit, and I do like it. And I like the fact that this team is also full of different people. You've got a Gallifreyan, an Earthling, an Alzarian, and a Dracanian, all in the TARDIS. Like, no one is the same, and I really do like that. It's a really nice, interesting team. And as far as TARDIS families go, the Chibnall era could never. I thought this serial had some excellent scenes, like when Tegan asked for a pen and paper to draw the usual style of dress, as it were, for Earth in her time. And the Doctor hands her the items without looking away from the villain. Like, he's staring at that villain. He doesn't want them to know that he knows that they're bad guys and can't be trusted, but he's staring at them, giving stuff to Tegan, just like, yep. Yeah, I do like that scene. It just shows to the audience that that person is dangerous, that the Doctor knows it, and that he's just trying to survive the situation. I do think that was a really good scene. And I also love that Tegan knows the Aboriginal language for the Aborigines in Australia. I really like that. I think it shows another depth to Tegan as a character. I just love Tegan, she's great. And with that, I love the fact that the historical figures on the spaceship are a multicultural, diverse group from different parts of the globe and different parts of time. I feel like if this was done in New Who, you just have like 4 white European dudes and maybe one from America. But that'll be it, you know? I just can't see it being a proper diverse group in New Who, whereas in this one, somehow, in Classic Who in the 80s, they got a nice diverse group, and I liked that. Adric, again, is being a little shit in this serial. He teams up with the villains, again. I hate him. I really hate him. I hate him. He proper teams up with them, and then he tries to tell Nyssa and Tegan that they're stupid for not believing in them, in the villains and their plan. I mean, seriously, the villains, Monarch, Persuasion and Enlightenment, are what Cybermen wish they could be, you know? It's not a fate I'd wish on anyone. So the fact that Adric's like, yes, you're right, everyone should be forced to be like that. And Nyssa's like, I don't want that. And he's like, shut up, you're just being stupid. It's like, leave everyone alone, Adric. Fuck off. Go back to East Space, you little shit. But yeah, he teams up with the villains, and then Tegan, good on her, she just pushes him out of the way later on because he's trying to get the TARDIS key, and she's like, fuck off. We love Tegan. We love Tegan. Seriously though, why wasn't Adric abandoned after this nonsense? Adam was abandoned in New Who after one tiny mistake. Adric has teamed up with villains twice now. Twice! This isn't even his second adventure. It's not 2 in 2. It's 2 in like 5 or something. Why is he team up with villains and being allowed to carry on in the TARDIS? Fuck off, Adric. Last thing I'll say about this one, because I could go on about Adric for ages, is that the Doctor feels really like the 10th Doctor in this one. Obviously, retrospectively. The way he just sort of pretends to be okay with everything and goes along with everything, but you know that he's formulating a plan in his mind, and he does sort of slyly hint to his companions that this isn't right, we're gonna just go this way, they're going to pretend to smile, and you know, I'm going to think of something to get us out of this. It just feels very 10 to me, so I quite like that as well. Obviously that's more, I guess, on David Tennant's 10th Doctor part than Peter Davison, who can't see the future for real, but I just feel like it links the character throughout the decades, so I think that really is quite nice. But yeah, overall I thought it was a good serial. The mystery was really great, and watching the Doctor and Tegan try and solve it whilst Nyssa and Adric were exploring the spaceship was really good, and I think I'm going to put this one into fantastic. I'm going to be nice and put it in fantastic. I think it was a really good, fun serial to watch. Plus the Doctor called Adric young idiot in this, so it gets fantastic just for that. And the MVP for the serial is Bygone / Biggin. Next up is Kinder, which I always read as Kinder, but it's Kinder. So this story got a 2. It's not bad, it's just that I personally didn't like it the first time or the second time. I don't know why, I just didn't. I know I enjoyed it more this time than I did last time, but overall I just don't really like this one at all. The story itself is a bit of a mindfuck, especially for poor Tegan. I think the only good parts of the serial for me are the bits that the Doctor is in. Whether he's with Adric or Dr. Todd, I liked those parts. But then the companion parts, for some reason in this one, I just didn't like much. I just found it a bit, I don't care. And Nyssa was casually sidelined the entire serial. And I really did think that Adric was going to be siding with the villain 2 serials in a row in this one, because he seemed to be siding with the crazy guy. Luckily he was just playing him, but still, you never know with Adric, you know. The Doctor was called an idiot in this serial, which was quite funny. And I felt really bad for the character called the Trickster, because he got his little stick trampled. That's really upsetting. Like, even just watching that, I could feel the pain. That was really sad for him. So the sub-villains, I guess, Hindle and Sanders in this, I remember the first time around I hated them and all the parts that they were in. But this time around I actually really thought they were doing good, just because the actors playing the roles were superb. I can't fault the crazy that they played in this. Hindle especially, the actor who played him, does a tremendous job of being dangerously insane. And that was really good. I can't hate it. But overall, I'm not a fan of this serial, and I'm going to put it into Wibbly Wobbly. I don't think it's bad enough to go in Scarrow Sewers, but I don't really like it. So I'm going to put it in Wibbly Wobbly, because there were some parts that were enjoyable, I just don't like it in general. So, and the MVP for the serial is Trickster. Next up is The Visitation. So this one got a 3 overall, and I do feel like that when I watched this the first time I enjoyed it a lot more, but this time around it was just okay. I love the period setting, the Stuart era, love seeing that. Obviously the costumes, again, fantastic. And the sets as well were really nice, I liked those. I don't know whether they used an actual house or whether they built the set, but it looks really lovely. And the Jester robot looked really nice. I thought that was a really nice design. I liked the Jester robot. Nyssa also has good design. Like, her room was set up really cute with a really cute looking bed and some nice shelving, so she's got good design in her as well. Speaking of Nyssa, she felt really doctory in this one. There's a moment where the Jester robot gets destroyed. She was the one who had to destroy it. But then after that, she laments to Adric about how it was such a beautiful piece of machinery and it was so sad to have destroyed that, and that it wasn't the machine's fault that it was programmed to kill them. It just reminded me so much of the Doctor, because that's the exact sort of thing he does when he sees machinery so lovely. Like when the 10th Doctor saw the werewolf or something like that, he's like, oh, you're beautiful, I love it. And then he's like, okay, gotta run though because you're about to murder us. I do think that Nyssa felt quite doctory in this one. The Doctor himself, however, caused the Great Fire of London. What a bastard. But yeah, overall I thought the story was okay. The pteroleptals were an interesting choice, and it was alright. I'm gonna put it into Wibbly Wobbly. It was okay. And the MVP was Elizabeth. Next up is Black Orchid. So this is the first pure historical story since 1966, and it had the vibes of a psychological thriller, and I loved it. It was brilliant. There were some racial depictions, which were iffy. Again, classic Who, always iffy on the racial depictions. But outside of that, with the actual story, I thought it was really good, really interesting. And what with it being so long since the last pure historical, it makes it quite a twist that it is just all human beings. There is no alien or monster, it's just humans, and it's a bit of a psychological horror in the aspect of what it was. But yeah, I thought it was a great twist, even though I did guess it early on the first time I watched it. But I did love watching this serial. I thought it was really good. And it's nice that the Doctor's cricket outfit finally came in useful. Speaking of outfits, the costumes that the girls get, Nyssa and Tegan, get some lovely costumes for the fancy dress party, and they were great. I loved those. Also, just have to mention that Tegan constantly teases the Doctor about how crap a driver he is, and the Doctor always takes offence, and I really love that. It happens so often, and it happens in this serial, and I love it. But I think I'm going to put this one into Uyu. Black Orchid is a really good serial and really fun to watch, and I really enjoyed it. It kind of gives me ever so slight Agatha Christie vibes with the 1920 style setting and the whole murder in the house sort of thing, except that it's being covered up and all of this. I thought it was really good, and it shows as well the pure historical aspect of Doctor Who from the early days of the show. And the MVP for the serial was Charles Cranley. Next up is Earthshock. So this one got a 3 overall, and it is Adric's last serial, so I can be happy that Adric's finally gone, even though I do have a confession to make. So the first time I watched this, I was adamant. For some reason, my memory, I have such a strong memory of Adric teaming up with the Cybermen, and that's why they got as far as they did. But yeah, when I've rewatched it, I didn't see that at all, and I had to rewatch the last 2 parts twice over afterwards just to make sure that I wasn't missing it. So I think I've given Adric a bit of a bad rap in that I have blamed him for the causing of the bad stuff in that episode, when actually he didn't do anything wrong. So I do apologise to the fictional character of Adric for that. But he's still a little shit, so I don't care that he's out of the show. I do like that the Doctor didn't know it was Cybermen until about halfway through part 3. It was really interesting to see his reaction to their appearance, and it reminded me again of David Tennant's Doctor 10, the Sandman 2-parter there, when he sees them through the foggy window on the parallel world. I thought it was a really nice way of doing it, with him not knowing about them until later on in the serial, even though we as the audience did. Although the Cybermen again did look really human. They acted and moved quite human, but also they just looked like humans wrapped in tin foil with a big helmet. I don't know why the design for Cybermen went downhill so badly. They look awful. Yeah, I don't rate that. Tegan and Nyssa in this serial are great. Tegan shows her bravery so many times in this serial, and we love to see it. Nyssa, the Doctor just casually shoots a Cyberman in the TARDIS, and then Nyssa follows suit and then shoots a different one. So everyone is going at it in this serial on 4 cylinders, and we love to see that. We love to see the companions going for it. But overall, I think I'm going to put this one into upgrade in progress. It was a decent serial. I just personally didn't enjoy it as much as I could have. I thought the way to end Adric's time on the TARDIS was a good one, that it was a death, because it was the first companion death since Katerina way back in the 60s. So it was really good. It was a nice shock for the audience, presumably. And the credits even rolled in utter silence for the first time ever. I think possibly still the only time ever. So I think that was really good. And in the next serial, you actually see the fallout of that. With the very beginning of the serial, you can see Tegan and Nyssa still reeling from Adric's death. So I think it was a nice way of impacting the show. But yeah, overall, I think it's an upgrade in progress. And the MVP for the serial is Professor Kyle. Finally, we have Time Flight. So this serial got a 4 overall. As I said before, I like how the start of the serial shows the TARDIS team still reeling from Adric's death. I think that's a really good way of not only connecting the season, but also showing that these characters are, I was going to say human, but I think only Tegan is technically human. They are real people in universe. So I do like that. It shows the depth of the character. As for the story of the episode, I like the mystery of it. I like the missing plane mystery, and the Doctor and Tegan and Nyssa trying to help figure out what's going on, and the weird world being not what you see, it's a big illusion. I liked that. I mean, poor Tegan just wanting to get to Heathrow. The Doctor got her there, but also kind of didn't. Although Tegan did get to prove what an amazing flight attendant she is at the end of the serial, when she just took charge of the passengers and led them back onto the plane. I thought she did well there. Good on Tegan. How she got fired in the next season, I'll never know. One thing does have to be mentioned though is, the Master's disguise in this one. Firstly, I don't really see the need for it in general. It seems like it was just for the audience. There was no need for it in general. But also, Oh, why? That can't have been acceptable for the time either, surely. It was the 80s. Surely in the 80s it wasn't acceptable to be doing that. Yeah, again, that is iffy to say the least. But overall, I think I'm going to put Time Flight into... I think I'm going to put it into Fantastic. I thought it was quite a good serial, quite a fun story. Adric came back as an illusion to try and trick Nyssa and Tegan, which I thought was quite good as well, incorporating the last serial and showing growth of characters and depth of them as well. So I think that was all quite good. Yeah, the only real thing I have wrong with it is the Master's Disguise. That's the only real big issue I have with the serial. So I think story-wise, it was enjoyable and it's going to be fantastic. And the MVP for the serial is Captain Stapley. But that is it. That is season 19 completely ranked. Again, quite a balanced season. Nothing was terrible, which is good. I've actually put more things higher up than I thought I would because I remember not enjoying the Fifth Doctor era as much story-wise. So I'm surprised about this. We'll see if it continues. Season stats. The most common score for the season was a 4 and the season average is a 3.62. Really, there was only one quote I could possibly choose for the quote of the season, and it comes from Earthshock, and it's a conversation between a Cyberman and the Cyber Leader. The Cyberman says, "A Time Lord, but they're forbidden to interfere." And the Cyber Leader says, "This one calls himself the Doctor and does nothing else but interfere." I mean, if that quote doesn't scream Doctor Who, then I don't know what does. For this season, though, I do have a second quote of the season, which comes from Kinder. This is much more one of those ones that makes you think. I really needed to use the other quote about the Doctor interfering as the quote of the season, but I couldn't really pass up this one. I passed up a few in the Third Doctor era that were anti-war statements and things like that, and I couldn't really pass this one up. So this is going to be the second quote of the season as well. This is between the characters Aris and Panna, who are both kinderkind or something. Aris says, "The not we must be killed." And Panna says, "You fool, do you think it ends there? That is how it all begins again, with a killing. It doesn't end. That ends as it has always done, in chaos and despair. It ends as it begins, in the darkness. Is that what you all want?" I think it kind of speaks for itself. But that is everything. That is season 19 ranked. That is everything done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time for the 20th season of Classic Doctor Who.